Welcome to Sportsaholics, episode 3. We have my dad here today, special guest,
Hello, everyone.
big Met fan. Tough week to be a Met fan.
Unfortunately,
You, what are your thoughts about the Mets?
they surprise everyone this year. I believe they should. I understand the way they're going, but I think it's important for them to actually have a lead, not always try to come back from behind. They have to capitalize with runners in scoring position.
I definitely agree. The problem is, I would say every time they get a runner on, or 3 runners on, because they had a lot of bases loaded the last 2 games, it's their bats die out. I don't know if it's the pitcher turning up because he knows he got to get something going, or if it's just that the bats are cold right now. But there's something there that they got to figure out quickly if they want to keep the series alive past tonight.
Well, as we discussed, I'm a fan of small ball. You have to chip
Yeah.
away, and just like the Dodgers, they're not swinging at anything. They're being patient at the plate, and that's what the Mets need to do.
Yeah. So the Mets and then the Yankees too. Look at that Yankee game. I know you're not a Yankee fan, but look at that Yankee game. I thought they had it in the bag in the 9th inning.
Yeah,
That was
but Cleveland won 94 games. They can't. They were home. They knew it was do or die, and for them to pull out this win in extra innings was great because now it makes it a series.
I definitely think if the Yankees won last night, that the series was going to be a sweep.
I agree.
That was full on momentum. Would have been all in the Yankees for the sweep.
I agree.
Yeah. Now we'll go back to the Mets, and then we'll go back to the Mets. So looking ahead a little bit going to the offseason for the Mets, you think they spend big, or you think they do what they did last offseason and just plug and play?
I think being that they didn't spend this year, and Cohen said it, I think he's going to spend a little bit. I think he's going to make a big run at Soto. The Yankees are not an organization that will overspend, but they're always successful.
Yeah.
But if the Mets can get him, they're going to, I think, put big money towards him.
I think the Mets' biggest target in the offseason is going to be Corbin Burns from the Orioles, formerly Milwaukee, has a connection with Stearns. He's a free agent. Looking for big money. Baltimore's usually another team that doesn't give out big money.
Well, their market is not as big.
Their market's not that big. So I think that Corbin Burns, surprisingly, is our top target. And then it's going to be Soto right after that. If not,
I think it's going to be Soto, definitely. Yeah, because they need that bat behind. If they sign Alonso,
yeah,
you're going to need that other bat. We don't have anybody who's steady enough to be behind Soto or vice versa.
You're hoping if you get Soto, him and Lindor and Alonso could be what him and Judge did, where you have either Soto ahead of Alonso, behind Lindor, or behind both of them. You're hoping it could be either way.
Well, don't take away from Lindor. Look at he continues to put up 30 homers, almost 100. I'll be not 100. So it could be a monster lineup. Don't just overspend. Get what you need.
You forget, too, put up big RBIs. He hit 220, but had, I think, close to 90 RBIs and over 20 home runs.
I think he had 90 RBIs.
I'm not thinking he might have. All right, now we'll switch gears to another sport that's prominent right now. We'll go to the NFL.
Oh God.
So we'll go all around the NFL. First, we'll go with big news of the week. Davante Adams is finally dead. You think it helps?
If he's healthy and it doesn't create an issue with Garrett Wilson, because Garrett Wilson is the future. And I think they should actually play together because it could be one of the most dangerous tandems in the league. And you still have Aaron Rodgers, who knows Adams. So, if they could play together and don't let ego get in the way, I think they could spread the field because it's definitely better than what they have on the other side. Than Mike Williams and Lazard. I mean, Lazard already has 5 touchdowns, but
Rodgers.
Yes, and Davante Adams is just a stud. So if he's healthy, it could work in their favor and open up the running.
Adams last year in a not horrible Raiders offense, but in a lackluster Raiders offense, will put up over 1,500 yards and close to double-digit touchdowns.
Right, and Aaron Rodgers knows what he has to do with those kind of weapons, and that could open up the tight end game as well, and the running backs catching out of the backfield.
Think Hassan Reddick's gonna sign?
It would be great. I think it's, even though we have sacks, I think it's, definitely a necessity,
Yeah,
even though McDonald had a sack in the game, against,
Buffalo.
Buffalo, but we don't get that constant pressure that we had last year, like when we had Huff and Franklin Myers.
Yeah,
It's 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 a different defense, we're making second tier running backs like superstars, not to take away talent, but, these are guys we should be able to stop.
they had surprisingly, I saw their rankings this morning. They're ranked number 2 in total defense, but somehow they're ranked number 2. That's because 'cause they're not allowing points and they're holding passing yards down, but their run defense alone is ranked, 17th, which
Right,
is
which is not what they were last year.
their run defense last year it wasn't that good last year, but it was better than this year. It was top 10 last it was
But this
over
year, it seems like the running backs huge holes, and
yeah.
it's you're letting them get 6, 7 yards a
You're
carry.
playing teams with bad offensive lines like the Broncos.
Like this week, Pittsburgh has a bad offensive line,
Can't let
and their star center who's out. They should
can't
be able to exploit that.
let them create gaping holes for the running backs with a lot of backups on the interior.
But look at a team like Pittsburgh, right? Their history. They haven't had great teams, and you look at, what Mike Tomlin has done.
He hasn't
The
had
Jets can't
yeah.
do that, and for some reason, we can never put it together.
20 years ago, I believe, 24 years ago, he had the chance at Bill Belichick. That backfires.
I think that was all, because he knew Leon Hess was gonna sell the team to the Johnsons, and for some reason, he didn't like the Johnson family.
Yeah,
Nobody knows why, but he did love Leon Hess, and he was going to be our coach until he found out.
yeah.
And just think about it. Does Tom Brady get drafted by the Jets? You
No,
don't know.
no, it's
He had an eye for talent.
greatest coach of all time, without a doubt.
Yes.
One of the greatest defensive minds of all time. I was very surprised he didn't get a job. Speaking of that, now the Jets have an open coaching job. Or do you think he still has that grudge to the Johnson take?
I still think, especially that he's older, he might still hold that grudge. That's just how Belichick is. But, let's see how Ulbrich finishes. You saw it in the game how they opened up, where the offense just moved the ball right
Yeah,
away. The different schemes that they ran,
Brees Hall looked like Brees Hall.
the play action, and not to say Salah was bad, but I've always said coordinator, yes, but coach has the final say. And when he doesn't adapt, it affects the whole team.
I agree. I don't think Salah was bad, but I think he was too buddy with his players and his coaches to try to hurt their feelings and change things up.
Well, that's being a player's coach is great because you get your team to play.
Yeah.
Go back to Rex Ryan.
Rex Ryan wasn't
Rex Ryan was a player's coach.
buddy. That's not hurt your feelings.
Well, they also backed him up, and he also would say something relevant or, let's say, stupid on the air,
Yeah,
but the team would back him up.
yeah. He would say something. My favorite moment, he was talking trash about the Patriots for the playoff game. They beat the Patriots. Bart Scott backs him up in the postgame. I can't wait.
But,
That
it's he got his team, ready for the game. He got
yeah.
them excited.
I think what the Jets have to do to have, especially if Rodgers and Adams stay put for next year, they run it back with majority of this team that they have. I think that if they get an offensive minded coach, like someone like Ben Johnson from the Lions, or even a defensive minded coach who's been around like Vrabel, or I know unlikely Belichick, they need someone that's been around and understands how to operate a team,
Well,
not a first year head
I think
coach.
it also goes to see how Ulbrich is gonna finish the season.
Yeah, of course.
If they're successful, the schedule is in their favor. They do have to go kinda 8-3 to make the playoffs
Yeah.
or be a runner, but if he's good and if they can get him a really good offensive coordinator outside of Hackett, who I wasn't a fan of his father when he was the coordinator under Herm Edwards,
Yeah, I forget about
and,
that.
he's not good. Is it look, they took the plays away from him, and look how kinda different the offense was.
Yeah,
So, if you look at that, it tells you the play calling, I mean, even
that's
having Adams, if you have Hackett calling the play calls, is it gonna work? You
yeah.
don't know. They need to get a good offensive coordinator if they're gonna keep Olberg. If
Yeah,
not, they have to bring in an offensive-minded coach
that's where I say Ben Johnson on the Lions.
if he's
He's
available.
if he's available, he took interviews the last few years, but decided to stay with Detroit.
Well, they have a good team.
Yeah, I feel bad for Detroit. Aiden Hutchinson. See what happened to him?
Yeah, it's
That was
unfortunate, yeah. But they're saying he's trying to come back.
if he didn't play in the playoff push. That's crazy because that looked like that's a season-ending injury, broken femur.
Yep. He's a beast.
And then the game last night, Broncos.
I didn't see the final.
I
Unfortunately,
think
I was trying to watch that game.
30.
Broncos won.
Yeah, that was.
They have a good defense, the Broncos. I mean, they shut down the Jets.
Bo Nix looks good. Bo Nix
He's gonna be good if they get him the right pieces. He does need a running game.
coach.
He needs a running game. He needs another wideout
Yeah.
from Cortland Sutton.
When you have Sean Payton as your coach,
Sean Payton's
it's
good,
helpful.
but he did it with New Orleans all those
Yeah.
years.
I think the Broncos are a sleeper for the playoffs. I know they started off 0-2 or 0-3. I think they could be a sleeper team to push for a playoff spot.
Well, how would the Chargers do?
Chargers are doing good under.
So mind you,
Harbaugh too.
Kansas City wins the division as usual.
Yeah.
The last few years, so depends how the Chargers play. To have 3 teams come out of the division,
Kansas City won the division. Mahomes isn't playing his best ball yet. Kelsey's not playing to what Kelsey is. They don't have true number 1, number 2 wide receivers. They're winning games with number 3 wide receivers.
I'm shocked they didn't try to make a play for Andrews, but I think that
I don't think the Raiders would entertain all. Too big of a rivalry to
well,
trade your best.
they were saying, listening to they were actually saying, being that they're in a rebuild year, get all the picks you can. So
But I agree.
take a high 20 if they don't win the Super Bowl again, a high 20s first round pick.
Yeah.
And
But I
maybe a
agree with what
second.
you said with Adams having all. I think there were 2 spots he wanted that he was trying to force his way to, either the Jets or if Derek Carr didn't get hurt in New Orleans.
Yes. But
Those are
he
the
has that relationship with Rodgers.
the OG.
There you go.
Clutch. I mean, Rodgers is still going back to the Patriot game. You look like he still got it. Give him time. Give him time in the pocket, and you make plays as a wideout. You get open. He can still swing it.
The thing is, he's older. He's 40. It hurts a lot
Hurts
more.
more.
You'll learn when you get to that age, but
Yeah.
it's if in that game he got hit hard twice. It was really bad, in which I thought he. But you have to protect him, and I think there's something going on with Tyron Smith.
I think Smith's playing hurt, but he's playing like a
But
warrior.
if he
like
is,
Dallas.
bring in Fresher and let him learn. He'll play his natural position, and let Smith heal. Don't let him go to the point where he's going to end up being out for the year.
Steelers have a great defense, but I think this would be the best week to start Fashiono because Moses is going to be taking up the reps against Watt. It's going to be Moses and Veritable.
Right, Fashiono will face him maybe a couple of times on different schemes.
Yeah.
So
But majority of the schemes, Watt comes on against the right side of the offensive line. He's not a blind side edge rusher.
right, and Fashiono, if he's going to be good, he'll take his licks and
It's very rare you get a rookie offensive lineman come to place like a super.
right.
Like it's very rare you get like that Quentin Nelson offensive lineman where
He has that potential though. You just don't know it because he's not playing. In the games he played, he was out of position.
Yeah, he was playing right tackle. I guess the Jets. They said the Jets tried developing to the swing tackle because of injuries, but it doesn't always work out for rookies. A lot of times they're better at their natural position.
Well, we'll see. I think if they could win this game, they still got a chance. I think if they lose, I think it's very difficult for them to make the
At
playoffs.
2-5, it's going to be a lot more difficult than 3-4.
Even though the schedule is in their favor, it's at this time, is the team going to quit? You don't know.
And then you got Giants Eagles. News topic this week: the guy Becton was dragging the Jets through the mud a little bit.
Well, we gave him multiple chances. he couldn't stay on the field,
Yeah, but
so
he was talking about how bad the field conditions were, but he's also driving the MetLife Stadium across from I don't know if this was a dig at the Jets or not, but saying you look at the Giants side, the old New York Giants have their Hall of Fame stadium, they have Gold Boston Stadium, they have a Legend Suite. You look at the Jets, it's like, oh, you look at the side that the Jets own, and it's just like, oh, the New York Jets are here. Is that
yeah, he's right because the stadium is 50-50.
it's 50-50, but
I would love for them to leave. Next year is the first year they can walk. I hope the stadium that Cohen's building for the soccer, I hope they would, um, maybe talk to them and make it bigger.
I think Cohen would love to have New
But
York
the
football.
fact that they're still sharing a stadium and we're $1,000,000 to me is ridiculous.
I mean, the
But
Chargers and the Rams.
I think I'm not a fan of turf. You've seen many players get hurt, and on that side, Becton, but Becton's original injury wasn't due to the turf.
Was it Carolina, I believe, uses grass.
Yes, and I think he's right. I mean, as an organization, you do have some kind of history. You have a Joe Namath, you have multiple Hall of Fame.
All of their history, for some reason, I don't know if it's the Giants were playing hardball when they built the stadium, or the Jets did something like that, or if it's just something Woody Johnson, being Woody Johnson, did. All of the Jets' history is at the training facility. Their Super Bowl trophy, their team Hall of Fame, everything's built into their training facility. I don't know if that's a matter of Woody Johnson not wanting to have anything at the stadium,
Well,
or the Giants playing a hardball with them.
the Giants have 4 Super Bowls.
Jets have one.
We have 1, so what is there really to say? They have played. They can make something. They could, but I don't think you gotta understand the Tishes and the Maras have been around for years. So
The Giants
they
is
have
winning.
that football history. Their family is football.
Johnsons don't.
The Johnsons don't. They just bought the team,
It was Leon Hess, maybe.
Well,
That's all the
Leon
Jets
Hess
from
wasn't, but he was into the team.
became a team,
I
or was it?
I don't know. I don't recall that.
I know
I know he
Hess.
was the owner for years, but I don't think the Johnsons are anywhere. He's the Tishes there. They were one big thing.
Yeah.
And they're actually
Still in.
married together. I think the Tishes marriage. I just think something to that point. But
It's crazy. What's crazy too is the Steelers have it. Even the Dallas has.
I
know
think
that.
Jerry Jones outdoes himself, and not having a GM as well. You got to think. I mean, is Dak Prescott worth that money? And you know how I feel about him. I mean, you can do everything you can do in the regular season, when it comes to playoffs, and you don't have that. You just don't do it. And you look at Mahomes. Mahomes has proved it over and over.
Mahomes gets a lot of hate in the media, but it's the same thing as with Brady. Brady got hate all over the place. I have no problems with Mahomes. Mahomes is the best quarterback.
Well,
He's gonna go down.
I'll give you. I think Mahomes is actually more physically talented than Brady ever was. Brady was great. Great. You got to understand what Belichick did. Belichick plays to fit a system.
Yeah.
If you notice, they did not have superstars, wide receivers. When they had Randy Moss, they went undefeated. They lost the Super Bowl. So when you have somebody who fits your system, same thing on defense. You have to, if you can get players to fit your scheme, you could be very successful.
I think Mahomes, I'd say even not biased, Rodgers had more physical attributes than Brady did.
Oh,
Brady
a
had
lot of analysts do say that. They said he's probably the best ever with the tools he has, and
the thing is,
a lot of people just take his personality into play and try to say he's this, he's that.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody's entitled to believe in what they want, but on the field, he's right. They're all now, people calling in and saying he's only won one Super Bowl. He lost championship games, but how many quarterbacks have ever had that opportunity?
look at it was going that way for John Elway for years.
They got him a running
So they
back.
got
I always said Dan Marino never had a true running back.
Yeah.
And Elway didn't have it until he got Terrell Davis. So Once he got Terrell Davis,
They won
he
back-to-back.
he was great. I mean, there's only so much passing you can do. Marino was probably the best all around. Marino was a great quarterback, and that's coming from the Jeffrey. So think about it. I
Had guys
mean,
like
the fake spike,
against the Jets too, right?
that was
Couldn't
definitely
forget
against the
the
Jets, but he was great. And he had great wide receivers. He had the Marks brothers,
They didn't
Duper
have
and Clayton,
they never had running backs.
but he never did. It's just a shame a quarterback that was that great.
Oh, I'm surprised I don't win a ring, and it might be same reason or different reason. Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers.
No,
Very cool.
Rivers had he had
Almost in a little
TNT.
bit.
He had Thomas and more than a little bit. Yeah, why not? It's just
When Rivers came up to when Tomlinson left and came to the Jets. How many? I don't remember how many years he was a Charger before with Rivers.
it's just I mean, like Belichick just did it, who fit his
Lawrence
defensive
Maroney
scheme.
was their running back.
But not Tomlinson.
No, just saying you had like Lawrence Maroney. James White was their lead running back. Had like not even 10 rushing touchdowns in his career.
It all derives when you're under pressure. For a quarterback, you need that offensive line. Marino always had that. It's just a shame that he never won.
Yeah. The one time he got killed by the 49ers. The Dolphins, right? Was it the Niners?
No, it was the Redskins, I believe. Was it Greasy?
No, I think I think they beat them. No, Elway got killed by the 49ers.
Elway got killed by he lost 4 before he won. He lost to the Giants, which really wasn't a blowout, but
that was a close one.
San Diego got the blowout against San Francisco.
Yeah.
I think San Francisco might have dropped 49 or 50.
That was Steve Young's Super Bowl too.
Yeah.
It wasn't even with Joe Montana. Montana was on the Chiefs then.
Yeah, I mean, you look at somebody like Dan Fouts. He never won.
He's in the Hall of
and
Fame.
he's in the Hall of Fame. So it just doesn't work out always. But the fact that people criticize him. What has Rodgers done? He hasn't ring. That many quarterbacks don't.
Yeah.
All right, it's not with the Jets, but obviously it's his future.
He has a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Maybe one of the greatest teams ever too. Considered big teams considered one of the best ever.
They were good.
Then they went 15. They went 15 and won the next year. All right, yeah, we could wrap it up. All right.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Nice weekend to have you.
Yeah, family weekend.
Family weekend. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. Back, I believe next week. Yeah, next week with another guest. Thanks for coming on, Dad.
You're welcome. Take care.